And if you follow me Instagram, apparently Irish now. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over everything I got in my little birthday haul, or hauls, kind of. And if you're new here, my name is Colin, and I am a non-binary Latinx scientist and lover of makeup, especially indie makeup and colorful makeup. And I have new content every week, so I'd love to have you subscribe. So my birthday was a couple weeks ago, and this is the combination of a couple orders. Everything finally came in this morning, the last of it. So I decided to do a little haul and try a couple of the things on today. And if you follow my Instagram, you'll already know a couple of these items because I posted them to my stories as they came in this last week, but not everything. And if you don't already, I have it linked down below, so go ahead and click there. So the first part of this is the stuff that's not from Sephora. So this was my birthday present from my husband. He knew I really wanted some things from Sigil inspired by Tammy Tanuka, and he was just like, just go order whatever you want, I don't care. Like, I know you want it, but I don't know what you want, so go buy them. So I got 3 of her full-size palettes. I already had 2 of her little mini ones that I got recently, and after trying them, I was like, I need to try more. I'm obsessed. So I got these 3. So I have one of her Adventure palettes, which is the long skinny one. She just launched another one of these this last week, actually. That's all shimmers. I got the Flaming Gold palette, and then the Wind Rose Grand Journey North-South, which is her like Viking themed palette. I've already been playing with these a little bit. I've already filmed one of them. That video will be going up next week, and then videos with these will be going up soon. But I'll show you those real quick. So this is the Mist palette. I don't remember the full name. Call of the Mist, I think. So this is one of her Adventure palettes. It's 7 shades. It retails for around, I think, $25 to $30. I don't remember exactly because currency conversions and stuff, because I bought everything from her website, so it's all in Russian rubles, and then PayPal does a currency conversion. But you can see this is a really pretty cool tone color story. It's got 3 mattes, green, a blue, and a neutral, kind of cool tone neutral. And then it's got these really beautiful shimmers and this really pretty green, gold. I had to have this one. And then these 2 are her book palettes. So these are 10 shades. They're a normal 26mm eyeshadow pan. The one that I've already filmed with that you'll see next week is the Wind Rose palette. And spoiler alert, I love them. They're so pretty. This is a very cool tone one. It's got this really pretty green purple multi-chrome here. And then most of the rest of these shimmers are duochromes. I think these 2 aren't, but these 2 are, and then this is this really pretty black sparkly one. Really like this one so far. And then it's got an iridescent shade down here. And then there's the Flaming Gold palette, which I've used once. And I will have a video up on this next week as well. And this is a very fall-y warm tone palette. You can see it's a little messy, and that's because this shade came broken, but not horribly. It just had like a big crack in it and like a little chunk had broken off. So I was able to repress it really easily, but it had powder everywhere. So this one looks like I've used it a whole lot, even though I haven't, but it's really beautiful. It's got this like green magenta multi-chrome. Like you can see if I turn here, it looks gold. There it looks magenta, but if I'm looking at it, I see green. And then it's got some other really beautiful duochromes and just like this red warm tone look, but it's also got this like green and peach. So this is a very perfect fall palette. So the second part of my birthday haul is the part that I'm probably the most excited for and what I'm gonna be using today. And that was, I had about $100 in Sephora gift cards that I got between a few different people. So I used them with a discount code during the Friends and Family sale to splurge and get one of the new Pat McGrath face palettes, the Amber Allure one that's 2 blushes and a highlighter. And then my first Pat McGrath palette. So I grabbed Midnight Sun. This is one of the ones that I've been looking at for a really long time. And I knew it would be probably the first one that I bought when I finally bought one. And I'm super excited to try this out. So this is what I'm gonna use today on my eyes. And then the last part of this was with the same friends and family sale that I got those on. With my gift cards, I also used some of my own money to buy a couple things that I would be mad at myself if I missed them. So because I had 20% off, I wanted to also grab the Celestial Odyssey Holiday palette from Pat McGrath. So I'm going to be playing with this weekend and get a video up of this next week as well. And then while I had 20% off, and since it's being discontinued and I've been lusting after it forever, I got the Natasha Denona Gold palette. So altogether, I only have, this isn't the biggest haul, but it's a very expensive haul. And I'm so excited to play with these. So I'll be using this. I can make a video on this if anybody wants, or I might just because I feel like it. Even though it's an old palette and it's being discontinued, I could do a, do I think it's worth it, you know, kind of thing. But I just had to get this. This lime chrome shade, this duochrome here, this like green gold here, this really pretty mustard, like it's just a really beautiful, this is my kind of neutral palette with greens and blue tones in it. And I'm sure I could dupe these like neutral shades here pretty easily and some of these, but especially like this side and the top row, or these two up here, I was like, especially at 20% off being discontinued, I just had to try it. So I will be trying that soon. And then I'll say for the Mothership, or the Mega Mothership palette, the Celestial Odyssey, I watched a bunch of people. I watched Danny's video, I watched Rupee's video, but especially Kinky Sweat, her swatches, I was like, okay, yeah, you're the one that pushed me over the edge. And it is even more beautiful in person. Like this one, you can definitely see the duochrome in already. This green is beautiful. I don't have an orange like this. Some of the, you know, pinky tones I could probably dupe pretty easily. This shade just looks beautiful. So I'm gonna be playing with this weekend, and I'll get a video up of that next week too. Today, I already did my base. I did my normal Fenty Auric combo, and then Kosas concealer. And then all I have on is bronzer. I didn't put on blush or anything, obviously, because I have one here. And I used my Lethal bronzer, the Tectonic ones. You can see I didn't go in too dark. It's a pretty natural bronzer for me. And then on my lips, I just have the new Lunar Beauty Gloss because my lips are kind of dry with the weather changing, and this is a nice ready neutral. It just looks pretty and natural and goes with basically anything, so. And it's really comfortable. So this opens just like the packaging for the palette, where it like slides out right here, and then here is the face palette. So this is Amber Allure. It's the darker of the two, and it's because when she launched her blushes, the one I wanted the most was the Terracotta Paradise Venus, which is in here. And then the highlighter looked really pretty, and then the other one, Love Struck, looks pretty. I don't wear pink that often, but it's kind of a berry pink, so I might. And I think today I'll just do one on each cheek just to see what they look like, especially with the highlighter. So here's the face palette, and it was this blush that I wanted the most. And then I figured if I didn't like this, I could always return it and just buy the blush. But this was a way of trying her highlighter, trying the blushes. So I'm really excited. This highlighter looks really pretty. It's like kind of golden, kind of pink. It's kind of both. So I think it'll work well with both. And then obviously Midnight Sun is the thing I'm most excited to try. And obviously this isn't a new palette. There's lots of videos on here about it. Many of you might already have it, but it's my first Pat McGrath experience. So I'm thinking of doing 2 looks just so I can try out some shades and see what I think. Obviously it opens up to that classic, iconic, and you can see my ring light. Black packaging. Obviously I'm keeping the box. And I already opened it, I haven't touched it though. And I know people talk about how heavy they are, but it is substantial, it is heavy. And then here is the actual palette. There's my ring light. So here's the actual palette, which I'm sure everyone's seen before, but I had to have this one. I love this red kind of terracotta-y shade, one of my go-to colors. I like these two matte tones. There's an olive, there's like a purpley color. It's a little, sometimes in some lighting it looks a little blue, but it's definitely a purple. You've got these really pretty shades right here in her special formula. This like coppery orange shade is just intense and beautiful. And I'm a sucker for these colors, and I'm a slut for olive green, so this had to be my first. So I'm gonna try the face palette first. I've got my standard brush here that I use for all of my blushes. This is the Sigma F10, the powder slash blush brush. I have a hard time saying blush brush. I think it's because they sound too similar. I'm kind of scared to use it because I don't want to ruin the pre-embossing. But I'm gonna put Paradise Venus on this side and then Love Struck on this side. Just did 2 taps, picked up a decent amount. I don't wanna, I've heard these are pretty pigmented, so I don't wanna go in too harsh. And I'm just gonna stamp that where I normally put my blush, which is right here. Okay, that is a really pretty color. That mirror's a little too small, so I'm gonna use the mirror in my Lethal palette. So 2 taps was not too much blush. Definitely added a nice subtle color. Blends in really nicely with my bronzer and looks very natural. So this would be like, I'm doing a low makeup day and I'm just wearing like concealer and bronzer or blush. This is what I would do. And it would be this kind of a shade. I'd add some color without being too much. So there's 2 more tabs right there. That's a really beautiful, it's terracotta, but it's got a little bit of that pink to it too. It's not straight like orangey terracotta. So I went a little harsh on the blush, but I really want it to show up on video. That's beautiful. Yeah, this might be one of my new favorite blushes. And then I'm gonna wipe off the brush. And I'm gonna go into Love Struck, which is the like berry shade. You can see it's very cool toned. And I'm gonna put that over here. So that was 2 dips just as well. Yeah, that's really pretty. I don't normally go for pinks that often, but if I want one, it's a very beautiful pink. And it's very pigmented. This is more pigmented than this side. Yeah, I'm into that. Okay. And then now I have to try the highlighter. So my go-to brush for highlighter is this random Morphe brush. It's just really flimsy and fluffy, and I find it works best. I bought highlighter I just want to say the word blush. I've bought highlighter brushes before, and I didn't like them as much as this. This just diffuses really nicely. So this is the shade Venus Nectar. You can see how beautiful that is. I'm gonna swirl a little bit, picks up quite a bit. That was like 1 swirl. Tap off, just because I don't wanna go too intense. And I'm just gonna, yeah, you need very little of this. I might be able to use do both sides with the same swirl. And the way I do highlighter is the high point of my cheek and then brush it up, whatever's left up to my brow bone. So that's beautiful. It's like yeah, it's got a bit of a gold to it and a little bit of a pink. So it's like a golden pink champagne. And that melted in so beautifully. Take a little bit more and put right here, here. Okay, so it looks really nice because it's got a little bit of a gold to it and a little bit of a pink. It looks really nice with both, and it doesn't create a cast on me or anything. It looks really pretty. So I can't wait to use that more, and I'll give an update later, but just based on initial application, I'm really happy with this. And then now for this beauty. So I haven't touched it or anything. I think I'm gonna do swatches real quick. Right here, that's mostly just to see what they actually look like, how they feel, so I can get an idea of what I wanna do. So the first shade here is Skin Show Moon Glow. Second shade is Bronze Eclipse, which is a really beautiful bronze. And then the third shade is that reddish terracotta-y shade called Vermilion Venom. And that is beautiful. So it's a really pretty just champagne. I could have used that as a highlighter today too. It's a really beautiful bronze. Not sparkly, just soft and smooth. This is really soft. Like, surprisingly soft. I mean, I shouldn't say surprisingly, it's a $125 palette, and people talk about how creamy they are. And then the matte doesn't swatch the best, but it feels, look how dark it is there, wow. The next two are Blood Moon 005 and Jubilee. So this feels a little grittier than the first two shimmery shades, but wow, that is shiny. Yeah, this also is a little grittier, but as the more I rub it, the more smooth it feels, and that is beautiful. It's like a green gold. Okay, so that's, yeah, it's kind of flaky. Both of those are a little flaky, which they are her like special shades, which I've heard. So I'll probably use glitter glue with those. Okay, and then the next two mattes are Extreme Dusk and Taboo. Taboo is very, very smooth. That's just a pretty dark charcoal shade, and that's like a perfect brown for me. And then the two that I'm most excited about next to the Blood Moon are Wicked Envy and the Blitz Violet Orchid. She has long shade names. So this feels really nice. Just a nice dark olive. And then, ooh, this one is silky. That's really pretty. And then my finger's kind of red from the one shade. So I'll use my pinky for the last one, which also feels a little gritty. And I think that's another Blitz shade. It's Astral Solstice. Okay, so green. That's a really beautiful green. And it's really, it does feel really creamy when you start to swipe it on. That blue shade is everything. Purple, I should say. And then that's, yeah, a pretty toppery shade. Okay. So I think I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go wipe off my hands and be right back. So the only other brand I've tried in this like price range is Natasha Denona, which is actually more expensive. This was $125 before a discount or anything, and this was $129, I think. So I'm really excited for this because it's my first mothership, but I don't know, more on par excited for the holiday palette just because there's more shades to try. So I'm just excited to play with that. So I'm gonna go in with Taboo on a fluffy Sigma brush. This is the diffused crease brush, and I'm gonna, because it's heavy, I'm just gonna set it on my table here, and I'm gonna use this mirror. And I'm just going to put that all on my crease. So that is, yeah, it's just a really pretty neutral mid-tone brown. It's another tap. Nothing really comes off when I tap the brush. And there's not really much in the pan coming up either. So it's not overly soft, but it is a really soft matte. But it's definitely pigmented. This is like the perfect shade for an everyday, like put this on your lid, brown. So I'm just gonna put that in my crease. It's blending, like it's already blended. it already looks great. I build it up a little bit more. Tap right there, and then just swipe back and forth. I know everybody's favorite thing about Pat McGrath is her special shades, the Blitz ones. I have not the largest indie collection, but I have a lot of indie shades. So they're not fully new to me, but they are still beautiful. So I can't wait to see what I think after basically starting with indie shades and then moving into more mainstream brands. So now on a Sigma Detailed Diffuse Crease, which is the same brush but tiny, like half the size, I'm gonna take that Extreme Dusk shade and I'm gonna put that on the outer corner. So it's currently Friday afternoon, it's 3 o'clock. So I might have this up today, depending on how fast I can edit, because all I have going on is, you know, make dinner and stuff. And I think we're doing leftovers from 2 days ago. So I should be able to get this edited quickly. So it'll either go up tonight or tomorrow. And then I'll play with Celestial Odyssey this weekend and get that up, and want the first Sigil video up next week, and then play with the rest, you know, this weekend and early next week and get those videos up. My ideal goal would be 3 videos a week, since I'm also, you know, back on campus and, you know, doing research and teaching and stuff. This is a really pretty dark shade. Also, depends on how I feel. So I got my COVID booster today. The Band-Aid is upside down on my sugar skull. But I've heard that the symptoms are similar to the second shot, and that one definitely made me feel sick and like weak and fatigued for a day or so. So we'll see how I feel tomorrow, if I have it in me to film more or anything. But I don't have any plans this weekend really, except for some prep for next week. So this looks really beautiful. I want a little bit more darkness right here, and that's just because of the way I was holding my eye, so I just need to stamp a little right there. And that was literally one tap into the pan. So this is a nice dark kind of charcoal, but not overly dark. Like, I feel like you could build it up to be really smoky. It looks pretty smoky on camera, but it doesn't look overly smoky in person, So on this eye, I'm not gonna use glitter glue just to see how it works, and I'm gonna use some on the other side. So I'm gonna go into Wicked Envy, because it's just the prettiest olivey green. Pick that up on a flat brush, picked up very nicely. And it felt so creamy when I swatched, so I'm hopeful. And I'm just gonna put that on most of my lid. I thought about trying to do blue and, or the green and the purple, but I'm not today. I might put the blue on my lower lash. So that's, yeah, very creamy, very nice. And a little bit's going a long way, obviously. Basically covering my eye. And it's really blending nicely into those mattes on the edge. There's not like a harsh line. I've heard her shadows work really well with your finger, so I'm gonna take a little bit more on my finger. And yeah, it's definitely creamier and shinier with a finger, but a lot of shades are like that. That's just a beautiful green. So these 4 definitely feel different, especially these 3. So I might need glitter glue for those, but I'm gonna try it on my pinky. And I'm just gonna go right here. Tap it over the green a little bit and then brighten a lot of the inner corner. Okay, that blends with the green so nicely. I don't think the camera's gonna pick up how pretty these are. Okay, so I'm gonna go put the same mattes on my lower lash line, and then I'm gonna take Skin Show Nude on a pencil brush and put that on my inner corner, because it's just a nice pretty champagne. And then I think I'm gonna take the pencil brush and I'm gonna take that bronze shade and put that on my lower lash line. This is Bronze Eclipse. I didn't spray it or anything. Okay, that's beautiful. It's a really nice bronze. And then on this eye, I really need to try Vermilion Venom. So this eye was about the green, and the mattes were just there for the green. And then this eye, Vermilion Venom, I just have to try. So cleaned off, just using the same fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna put that right there and blend it over. So this is even more pigmented than the others. This is beautiful. I don't know if I have a red-ish tone like this. I have other terracottas, but none are quite like this. And it's blending so nicely. That took literally like, I don't know, 10 seconds. And it's not perfect, but it's looking good. And I'm gonna take this small Sigma brush and take the same shade and pack it right here. I wanna see what all I can do with just this shade. I'll probably put a little dusk, extreme dusk right here too, but I really want to see what depth I can get from just the one shade. How versatile it is. Loving the tone of this. This is like my favorite shade, like my favorite color. Well, my favorite color is blue, but like my favorite blues are like dark, deep blues. My favorite greens are this kind of green, and then my favorite reds are this kind of a red. So I like dark colors. I like contrast in dark colors. So I love that. Take a little bit of extreme dusk and run it right here on the lash line and outer V. Just really smoke out that edge. I like a dark outer corner. So on this side, I really want to use that bronze. I really want to use the bronze tones and that Blood Moon shade, which feels thinner, more toppery. So I definitely want to use some glitter glue to make sure it like sticks. So I'm just gonna tap that all over my lid with this little flat brush like usual. Then I'm gonna take a little bit of Bronze Eclipse and put that on the outer part of my lid right here. That is beautiful. That is a beautifully smooth, pigmented, shiny bronze. Like that's, I like this better than the bronzes in the bronze palette. This is my kind of bronze. Those were a little more orange. This is more antique bronze. And then using my finger, I picked up some of the Blood Moon shade, and I'm gonna tap that all over like glitter glue. And then I'm gonna take the same gold shade I did on the other side as well and put a little bit of that right here. Yeah, it's definitely more toppery, which I have nothing against. I really like topper shades. But you can see the bronze one, when I swatched it, looked very toppery, but over glitter glue, it's really impactful and really opaque and shiny. So I'm gonna go finish my eyes off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. These are the finished looks. I just threw on mascara and black eyeliner. That was it, something simple. I really like these. I'm sure these looks have been done many, many, many times with this palette. It's a couple years old, but I wanted to try. These are like the two looks I would do most often. And so I just needed to try that. And I am really happy. So this is my first Pat McGrath palette. It's the first time I've ever touched Pat McGrath shadows at all, and I'm really happy. I think I'll do a look this week for school using the purple, maybe some of this stamped on top to make it even sparklier, and maybe just a bronze look. I don't know. But I'm really happy. Also loving the blushes. I think they look really nice. This one's definitely my favorite. On camera, they're looking kind of the same, but this one's definitely more pink and this one has more warmth to it. I have a feeling this highlighter and blush combo is going to be a go-to for the fall. Even with a mask, I'm still doing, you know, most of my makeup. I'm really happy that this was my first Pat McGrath palette. I mean, I bought the other one immediately afterwards, but this is my first Pat McGrath palette, my first Mothership, and the reason I picked this over some of the others, I thought about getting Bronze Seduction. I really like Mothership 1. I really want Mothership, I think, 4. The one with Gigabyte in it. I don't remember the rest of the names. But this one I had to go with my first because I figured I would use this one the most. It's got a neutral brown. It's got like a terracotta-y red shade. Those are my favorite kind of mattes other than blue. And then it's got a green. It's got a really beautiful bronze. It's got a purpley blue shade. I mean, it's purple, but you know, violet's a little more on the blue side. It's got some golds. Like, these are the tones that I gravitate towards the most. So these are the tones I reach for and the colors I reach for the most. So while I also have similar shades in a lot of other things, I don't have anything like this though. Or anything quite like this matte. But I have similar shades in other things because these are my favorite tones, but I also figured for my first Pat McGrath palette, I should go with the tones I wear the most. So I'll get the most use out of a $125 palette, even though it was a gift card, so I wasn't actually paying for it. So far, I really like the formula. I understand why people love her, especially if you don't have any indie singles. These shades would be very different from anything else in the mainstream. And these mattes are beautiful. They blended effortlessly. They weren't really powdery. Like, you can see where I hit the brush, but like, there's no kick up, there's no fallout. These metallic shades are so creamy and beautiful. I'd say kind of similar to the Sydney Grace metallics. I like these more, I think. Those are a little thicker. They're both creamy, but those feel a little thicker to me. But yeah, I'm really excited to keep playing with this and to hopefully have it be one of my top palettes. And then as far as the face palette goes, I like this. It's a little more berry than just pink, so I think I'll use it more than a plain pink would or a bright pink. I like a coral more than a true pink, but I don't have a pink undertones or cool undertones, so it's just not like a natural color for me. But this shade is everything. This highlighter is beautiful. I do not regret this at all. I'll actually swatch them on the back of my hand so you can just see them. Oh, that is so soft. So here is Love Struck. Yeah, you can see it's very cool. Here is Paradise Venus, I think. And that's like my go-to blush kind of color. It does have a little bit of a pink to it in person. And then the highlighter. You can see what I mean about, like, it's golden champagne, but there's also some pink. It's really unique and really beautiful, and I can't wait to use them more. So I'll give more thoughts when I do like a review roundup later for all of the stuff that I've been getting. But so far, very happy with my purchases / presents. So let me know what you think of my birthday haul. And if you had a gift card to get a free, you know, Mothership palette or something, which one would you pick? I'm always curious because everybody has different opinions. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I hope you all have a great weekend, and I will see you all in my next video.